Hello, this is John Piper with the Tuesday video, and it's Tuesday the 28th of March. I'm starting with Bitcoin today. I tend to be going into a bit more detail today just to recap what's happened over the over the major moves. So as far as Bitcoin is concerned, we saw a peak around here on the cusp of 2018-2019. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. The 5 looked a bit like an ABC, A, B, C, rather than a 5-wave form. There was a little possible 1, 2 there, 3, 4, 5, but the ABC inference, I think, as I recall, made this peak difficult to call because it looked like there may have been a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5, but obviously that didn't happen, and the peak came in at around 69,000. We then saw a big ABC, what we're expecting, a massive decline. She's done about 80% 80% of the previous rally. Now since then, let's go down to a shorter term chart. The last 6 months I think should do it. We then had a 2 there, I suppose. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's nice and clear. I mean, quite a short fifth wave, but similar length to the wave 1 in terms of price. ABC, and this trend line drawn off the previous one I showed you was fairly relevant as regards the low. Now since then we've had, let's go into again a shorter term chart, the beginnings of a 5, I think. So we've got a 1 and a 2. Now currently the 3 is quite short. Normally the third wave is the longest wave, and it's actually short in the 1 wave at the moment. So this suggests to me that maybe we've just seen a 1 of 3 and then A, B, C, 2 of 3, with the low I think pretty quite close now. No confirmation. Let me just expand this chart again actually. So A, B, C, but it's a bit dubious whether the low is actually at this point. It could be, but yeah, this spike there is of some relevance, but there's no real confirmation yet. So we could see a bit more downside here before this wave. I think it's wave 2 of 2, not wave 4. But I'm saying a solid third of a third wave thrust pretty shortly on Bitcoin. Ethereum are on a slightly different count here. We've got the 1, 2, 3. Now because of the ABC here, there's an alternative count available, so I'm calling this an irregular A, B, C down to here. Irregular because it made a new peak, which corrections don't normally do. Taking it down to this low here, from which we saw another 5 was up. Let me just go down to a shorter term chart here. Shrink a little bit. Okay, so again we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this shows intent to my mind, but we're now on the way up again. A solid 5 waves, A, B, C. Just expand this chart a little bit. And again a 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, a rather small 1, 2, which is a concern, but it's a clearly impulsive move, and we're seeing a correction from here, so that tends to confirm this 5 moves up. We've now got a bigger, make this into a slightly clearer pattern. Again, we have got an irregular correction, which does show some strength. So we've got the ABC A wave, ABC B wave, could be a 1, 2, 3, a bit of a messy C wave. It's possible loads in on Ethereum. It looks a bit more positive than it does on Bitcoin. But again, we're looking for a decent thrust up. And on Ethereum, it looks like the count is the third wave is beginning, whereas on Bitcoin, it looks more like we've got the third of a third coming in. So it could be, again, a pretty strong move coming in here, whether it's the third wave or the third of a third, as on the Bitcoin count. As regards trading, I would say that this setup here is a fairly good one to go in on, but I'd say we could see a bigger ABC. I mean, Bitcoin suggests we're going to see another leg down, but of course we always have risk in trading, but certainly as regards to the potential rewards here, which I think is substantial. I mean, we saw a rally of over $500 on Ethereum here, so I'd expect at least $700 for a third wave. So at the moment you get in for a risk of about, let's see, where are we now? That's down to 60, about $80 for a possible $700. So quite a good risk return. And obviously, you need to choose your own stops, but below this low here is one obvious area. You could use a stop here, but that's a little bit more risky, I'd say. But certainly I think we are going up, although there is doubt whether the low is actually in at this point of this correction. All right, gold is similar to Bitcoin. We're seeing the, it looks counts as a wave 5, whether there's a wave 5 remains to be seen, but it could be a third instead, I think. But we've got a 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, a very small 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3, ABC for 4, it's actually overlaps with 1, it shouldn't do that, so that does raise a few question marks. It could be, in fact, again, that we're seeing a extended, this is a 1, 2, and we've got another 1, 2, and this is actually a third of a third coming in. Again, I think that's probably more likely, in fact, so that the third wave is continuing. And quite a deep correction here. I mean, this looks impulsive. ABCs are there, I think. Getting a bit messy, actually. I mean, the 2000 level is obviously a bit of a hurdle, so I mean, that would explain why we're seeing rather erratic action here. But I expect us to shoot above here fairly soon. Going along now, I mean, perhaps a bit risky with these up and down motion we're seeing. Personal choice, really. I mean, if you've got fairly tight stop points if you want to use them. I'm holding quite a lot of gold stocks, as I mentioned before, and also gold and silver through various different methods. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about spreading it at the moment, but so I'll probably leave this for the time being. But I think and gold and silver and crypto are the places to be right now, as I've been saying for some considerable period of time, I believe. Silver, we've got the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3. But again, I think this probably is a 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and I think this is the third of a third coming in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Another thrust up for 3 of 3, then a 4 of 5. So I think this has got legs. So I don't think we're going to see a fifth wave anytime soon. It's just that the so actually I thought we ought to put it up there. But that's really rather than where it is at the moment. So I'll do that just to make it a bit clearer. But I think wave 3 is still with us on silver. Well, we're looking at the equities now, where we see a very different picture. I'm calling this the all-time peak. It's actually a regular peak because the fifth wave didn't make a new high. It's a sign of weakness. We've got a 1, 2, very corrective 2 wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. Nice solid third wave thrust. 4, ABC 4, 5. Now we're seeing an, I think it's slipped a bit, so the A I think is there, B to here, and the C wave is still with us, and ABC will take us about there, I think. That would probably cover that, I think. So looking for a bit more upside, but a major sell-off coming in the next few weeks. And given the scale of this downtrend, I think we're going to see something quite impressive. If you want to call it downtrend impressive, you may prefer not to. Then it's pretty fast action may well be part of that process, or crash if you like. Well, once this peak is in, I would expect the first few weeks to be fairly well, not too fast, but it could accelerate at some point in the process. Right, the DAX, another very impulsive looking decline, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But a very big snapback rally here. I mean, that's 70% bounce for a correction is quite strong. It's not impossible, but it's obviously happened. But it does raise the spectre. Maybe it's actually a new impulsive action. This looks corrective, ABC. I did have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count here, but I think about it more deeply, a correction is more likely here. But if this keeps thrusting up, that would change that count. But for the time being, I'm going to go with the corrective count. Maybe a flat, so maybe the same level as the A wave as resistance. I think it's possible the peak here could be a peak, in fact. But no real confirmation at the moment. A bit of confirmation, but not enough to really make a call on that. So I expect it to be corrective. I expect the thing to continue to go down. But this does raise a few questions at the moment. The Dow is similar, but rather a messy count here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's pretty clear, so that's a 1 and a 2. Maybe a 3 to there, 4 and 5. Then there's very messy A, B, C to there. I mean, I guess neat of that was actually the fifth wave low there. How could that be? Let's just check if I can make that into the... So the 4 low would be here. 1, 2. It's quite hard to count. There's no orders 2 there. That's clearly an ABC. It doesn't actually. It's fairly academic, really. I mean, this is impulsive. Hard to see 5 ways, but it is impulsive. This is clearly corrective. It's failed just above the 61.8% Fibonacci level. But this is also questionable. It looks like an ABC. So this is a bit of a mess right now. Could go either way, I guess. This is pretty clear. This is corrective, but this is not doing anything really to confirm in either direction at this particular point in time. I will go with the downside as a preference, merely because the other markets are showing similar patterns. There is some confirmation on that basis, but we're not. I guess. I mean, you could say the US has bounced back because of this bank rescue thing. Good news came in, bumped up the price, and it's really this rally here, which is slightly sort of spoiled the downside pattern, if you like. Before that looked pretty negative. So in a way, you take your pick there. I think at the moment on the Dow. Right, and the Nasdaq is slightly up on its own because it peaked back in 2021. In fact, so as this peak here is the peak in the other equity markets I cover, but the Nasdaq peaked a lot, a year or so before that. Sorry, 21, 22, I should say. Because this is the 20 in January. So let's say it again. This is December 2021, and this is November 2021. So at the end of 2021, we saw a peak here, whereas the other markets peaked around mid-2022. So we've got a 1, a 2, a 1 of 3, a 2 of 3, and it's all got a bit messy here. With it, this could be 1 of 3 of 3, and ABC 2 of 3 and 3. Very corrective move here, clear ABC. So that tends to confirm this is a correction, and with the market is still staggering higher, but not with much force. Maybe waiting for the other markets to catch up, but if this starts to go down, then we're into the third of third territory, which means fast action as per the 87 crash and other similar crashes, which happened. And I think this is a bigger correction than 87. And I say probably the biggest bear market of my lifetime. So I'm expecting something quite dramatic, really. But whether this actually is the peak is more questionable. But the wave count is clear, it's just not confirmed. We've got no confirmation at all, really. But this is a peak of any note at this point in time. That's all for today. If you found it interesting and useful, back to the report on Thursday. Have a great day. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.